Hello, everybody. This is Pete from Paw Labs. I know it's been a while since I've gotten a video out. I've been working on the configuration for AI, amongst other things, pretty heavily, and I finally, after 2 full days, got it to where it's pretty good, but it's still not where I want it. But I figured I needed to get a video out before my entire audience goes away. So here you go. Uh, this is in Designer, and I've been playing with this a bit. And so we now have AI, and you can click AI and you can make strategies for the allies, or you can make strategies for the Axis uh, powers. This is based on opponents, and each strategy has orders in which units, or groups of units are told where to go or what their mission is, I guess. Uh, there still is a bunch of things to flush out with that. But to give you an example, there's a number of screens. When you play with these buttons, you'll get this floating screen, and then you can modify an existing order, and then you can add new ones. So just to give you an example, here's the modification of an order. Now the order screen pops up with a little how-to, and basically you choose whether you're selecting units or whether you're selecting destinations, and then basically all you got to do is click the map. So again, this is a completely free-floating screen. It's sticky, so it stays on top no matter what. So I got some columns to adjust here, it looks like. So basically, it shows you the red X's are units for the opponent that you have not made orders for, okay? And the green dots and green lines are the actual orders that you've said you've put in place. So order one is for the 2nd Infantry Unit of Belgium to retreat to a supporting position behind the French lines. The odds of him being able to do this order, given that Germany moves first, is pretty remote. But if we can save the unit before he gets crushed, then that can only help us. So I have him retreating. I've got this armored unit stacking on top of the 4th French Infantry as my second order. And this is just an example of, what you can do. So it will be flushed out more. But I want to also point out here that this choice of destinations, now these column titles are toggles. Okay, so you're either selecting units or you're selecting destinations. Now, the next thing I'm going to work on today is adding a secondary destination. So when you've gotten to here, and when you're fixing to get into combat or what have you, then I want you to go somewhere else or continue on your path. But notice that we have a destination type. Now you can select the exact hex. I want this unit to go specifically to that hex. Or you can say, get the hex column. Let's turn this around and say this is a German attack. I can take all of these units up here, call that the Northern Army, and send them coming down through here. Okay, and simply all I got to do is say, okay, guys, I want you to move to this column on the map. So they're going to keep their basically they're going to keep their alignment. So they're in different rows and all of this. They obviously can't go across in the English Channel, so they'll have to try to get to that. So they'll all kind of work their way down to where they're um, towards this column on the map. Okay, and at that point, the entire northern flank of the French army should be destroyed. Uh, so this should be active. Yeah. Okay. And then you could have the whole rest of the German army spearheading straight for Paris. Okay. And so what the AI on the coding side of execution, then these guys will, that code will then fights and maximize the odds against units to eliminate units. Okay. Um, there's be more parameters, but the biggie was I wanted to show what the order is and uh, and how it works. Now, I'm not happy with this yet. I like it. It's a pretty good start, but I don't like the colors. I don't like that the destination is a circle. I want that to be an arrowhead. And I actually want this to be a dotted line, not a straight line. So some tweaks still to do here for what I want to do, for how I want this to look. Additional things that will go into the AI. I haven't attacked the cities. For example, you want cities to build replacement units, but when they're not building replacement units, what units do you want them to build? And they'll send out units. Want a brand new unit. Where do you want brand new units to go? Do you want them to come and build a defensive line up here? Do you want them to all head towards Paris? And for this particular game, we would just send them all, build nothing but armor, and then replacement units for those that get injured. So resupply units and build armor and just send everything you got at Paris and see if the Allies can stop it. From the French position, the Allied position, you're looking at playing a defensive game. You can't stop the armored onslaught of the Germans. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I'm trying to figure a way I can make this a little bit more accurate. I have worked on the, now this is kind of changing topics, I might, uh, but in the storyboarding here, we have the British arriving. Okay, so I have the British arriving on turn 2, and they will have quite a number of units that they'll be able to supply, and hopefully that's going to come up. I haven't tested a lot of this. Nah, I got a bug there still. Okay, so it would that screen's going to list all the units. There's about 8 units, 7 units that come in, various armored and infantry units that come in. They'll have to come in on coastal hexes. Okay, stacking limits are 2, so you can put 2 per unit. So you'll need 3 coastal hexes for them to show up, as you would expect. So you get a message and then you get reinforcement units that show up. So that is configurable now. But what I've been trying to center pretty heavily on AI and get this operational. And I think it's coming out pretty nicely. I like the drawing on the screen to where you can show what's going on. Um, and you can, choose what you want to do visually and then build a series of steps. So you may want to take the northern flank of the German army and initially move them along this row right in here, and then as a secondary, just keep moving them forward and sweep down what is that, the western side of Paris, maybe having their eventual goal be these farms and stuff over here. So, but anyhow, this is a first look at the configuration of the AI that gives you abilities to generate. Uh, you can actually generate multiple strategies for the AI to choose, and when you get to starting up the game, you can say, "Hey, my opponent is AI." Or my opponent is another player, that kind of thing. So then the AI would then say, hey, I've got three of these things out here. Do you want the, easier to harder, or do you want just me to randomly select one? And then you kind of have some mystery as to what's going to kind of happen. But that is what's going into the behind the scenes at this end of life. So thanks for watching.